Hello and greetings to you guys, whoever's watching. I just am starting again after having quite a long break here on YouTube. Since during COVID, there was a lot of technological issues with uploading and trying to get many of my videos that I had created, spent an hour or two creating to only have it not upload. So I'm going to try again, and hopefully things will start working and flowing again like they should, like they used to back pre-2019. So welcome to Water at the Well. And I just wanted to test this video, and before I do a lot of creating and in-depth sharing, but what Water at the Well is about, and I might even add Forever Hope as my title or my subtitle. For those of you who know me, you know my story, you know my testimony, you know my life challenges that I've had. And I wrote a book that was published pre-2020, and then COVID hit. And I started to, I was prepping to go to churches to share hope, because I've seen in my years of living that folks just are really in need of hope. And through the challenges of life, and this is what I've been pondering this weekend as I drove home from Michigan to visit family. The reality of life is that we all have challenges and we all need hope. And there are so many times and seasons in our life that we either get drenched, like a waterfall has just surged over our life and we feel like we're drowning. Been there, done that. And then there's times where we are so dry, like a desert, that we need to find that water at the well. Like the woman at the well in the Bible, who had numerous husbands, who felt forsaken, heartbroken. She was searching for love. She was searching for promises. And she met Jesus. She encountered the living God who brought hope, who brought her true water, as Jesus was explaining to her. Woman, I know every sin. I know every challenge in your life. And you are loved. And you are precious. Come to me and I will give you real water so you will thirst no more. And that is what I hope that this channel will bring to you. And I'm just this amazing person, not being haughty about this at all, but God has given me such an empathetic heart that through my experiences in life, and then referring to the book here, I share, it's a real small book, real easy read, but I explain how I held on to hope through Christ, in Christ, and with Christ, because God never lets go of us. And through the death of 2 stillborn babies, through my husband dying, through my very best friend, who was my sister, through her mother, through my grandparents and my parents, and so many other things that I will hope to discuss through time, over time, coming to you maybe once or twice a week. And we'll see how the uploading goes. This is going to be a trial here to see if I'm uploadable, hopefully without challenges. And you're going to get this wonderful view of a fan, because this is just my spot and my little office and room where I create and I write and I share. So you're going to get the real me. I know the the reality, and I'm kind of going to go down a bunny trail here, because I'm just going to come here as an intro for you to get a little familiar about me. Number one, you can get the book on Amazon. It's available now on Amazon. And I'm a person, and I'm also a person, that was just a side note that I just realized I didn't tell you. You could purchase the book, and the link will be below at the end of this video. But I'm a person that is creative. I've always loved books. I've always loved to write, and I've always loved to journal. And back in the day, they used to call it a diary. But I've always kept notes because my mind is always so overflowing. And it's just easier for me to have a nice little journal handy. And I just jot bullet notes and sometimes other things within my journal. When I do a Bible study, when I'm reading a book, usually nonfiction on a topic, I've got my highlighters in the book. I make notes in my journals. And then I've learned to create artistic journals, mixed media journals, painting, greeting cards, things like that. And if you've watched my videos before on this channel before, when I was able to upload and do live YouTubes before they did some major changes, you've seen me create and paint and talk and just talk through life together. I'm just this real person, realistic. I don't want to be pretentious. I don't want to be this guru, because I have a little bit of everything in me, and that is so unpopular. Like you'll have the proper way of, go on one topic and only do one thing and do it well. Well, that's a theory and that's a great thing, but I get super bored super easy. So I like to do a little bit of writing, a little bit of scrapbooking, a little bit of mixed media. I like to paint, and I just like to do all these different things, and that keeps me fresh. Because the last thing I ever want to do is become stagnant. I tell you what, I've gone through periods of my life where I have felt stagnant. Just coming back, visiting with my niece and my son, talking to my daughter-in-law. And I tell you what, mamas, I hope you join me. I hope you get encouraged. Come on in when I go live. Watch the reruns of the video. Because as a mom, we feel when our kids were little and babies that sometimes we feel like we're losing ourselves, because we just feel like, changing the dirty diaper or the wet diaper, cleaning up puke, cleaning up, snotty noses and stuff. It's just so, I don't want to say belittling, but it just is part of life. And when babies come along, it's hard. It gets so discouraging after a period of time that you just feel like, this is my life. Because when you're in the midst of that, it's so hard to think a year ahead when that season's going to be over with. And you're going to move on to another part of childhood and mothering and things like that. So it's one of those things and places and times that you just want to realize, I've just got to be here today and be present right here, right now. And I know that I'm going to get through this, even when it feels daunting. I feel tired of it all. I feel like I'm worthless. You're not worthless. And I tell you what, fast forward this many years later, it wasn't until a couple years ago that I had two strange people, but strangers, people that didn't know me personally. One wasn't, I was doing an interview for a job, and, which I didn't get. I was offered a job, but it was like the pay was so low and he couldn't budge. But I think it was a God moment, and we have to be alert for those moments. When God speaks to us in ways that we don't think. I like to deal with life directly. If you are here having a conversation with me and you ask me a question, I'm going to give you the answer. If I think that it's going to be too hard of an answer, I'm going to say to you, are you really prepared for my honest answer? Or do you want me to just sugarcoat it? And if I have to sugarcoat it, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let you figure it out on yourself. And, but anyway, this guy said to me, this interviewer who was probably half my age, he was probably my kid's age. And we were talking, it was a really good interview. And I thought for sure I got the job. It was for an office job, which I've done for years and years and years. And he, as we were talking, he says, when I was, looking over your resume and everything, he says, I pulled up your websites because I have an Etsy store. I'm a photographer by trade. That's my number one thing that I love to do. And he says, I looked at your website for your photography and beautiful work. Love it. And then I was writing the book at the time. And he said, do you call yourself an artist? And it took me aback when he said that. He was the first one that had really said, woke me up. I was woke. And he said, do you call yourself an artist? And I just paused for a minute. And I said, that's a good question. And it's a really hard answer because I'm not sure I can do that. I'm not sure that I've ever been ready to say that about myself because I don't feel like I've arrived. And I love what I do. I think I do a good job, but I think because I'm always aware that we need to keep working and keep challenging ourselves. And so that makes me feel like I've not arrived yet. And then since that time, I've had a couple other people say to me, well, you're just so creative. You've got such artistry, and you are an artist, and so forth, and realizing, then putting things into perspective after I came home, and those when it became numerous people that either know me but don't know me well. Or like I just met, like the interviewer, I realize as I look back that even though I am administrative and I've been administrative and in that work world, and I've always been very good at it because I like details and I look at the details and I see the little things. I see the those small things that need to be done in an office and in a business. And I make sure, we're running low on toilet paper. Was the toilet paper ordered? You know what? Did the people last night clean up in the kitchen? Who's going to go clean that kitchen up? Because there were things left behind. So I see all those details in the midst of doing all this work. So God has given me this ability to do a handful of things, which is in this world and in this culture in the last 15 or 20 years, that's so uncouth and so uncool. And no, just do one thing and only do one thing well. And I'm mimicking and making fun of these people. And I know, though, flip side of that, there are many people that can only do one thing. There are just some personalities that can only do one thing and stay on track. I get bored doing one thing and staying on track. So I'm saying all of this to encourage you that if you're struggling who you are, if you're a mama with little ones and you're at home right now, and maybe you're in that in-between stage, and maybe you had a career before, and maybe you're doing at-home work right now while you're being a mom, you can ask God and start preparing. Where am I going to go next? Am I really content doing that job that I did before I had babies? Because now my world is different. Now I'm a mom now. I need a little more flexibility because my kids are going to be in school. Do I want to get involved in the school with my kids' class. So I know the teachers and I know the principal and I know the other kids, because I tell you what, that is of such value. And it may seem belittling to be a room mom or a lunchroom mom or, that kind of thing. But I tell you what, and I didn't do a lot of it, but I did enough every year to keep myself interacting within the school, that the teachers knew me, knew I was the mom to these kids, knew that there's value there. And I tell you what, teachers, I think if you're not overbearing and you're just there really to help and maybe to bring your giftings to the table without being haughty about it, teachers appreciate that. They appreciate that person that when they know that you truly care, not about just your kids, but about the other children, and that you have compassion for the children that are neglected or have challenges or whatever it may be. There is something of great value. And it's only temporary. Even if you only do it K through 4, or maybe you can do it 5 through 8th grade, that you can do the field trip, or you can do whatever it is that the schools are allowing parents to do it within the school right now, in today's culture. Go ahead and do it. Say, I can only help once a month. Let me know what I can do once a month. There's great value of that. And then, you know what, y'all? In 12 years, when they're done with school, you're going to go, what in the world do I do now? So while you are in that, and I'm really, I guess right now in this moment, because I've just come off of a month of being with my niece and my grandkids and these little kids under the age of 7 to baby. Mamas, you have a treasure within your arms. This sweet baby is going to grow so fast. And if you look at the time they were born to where they're at now, whether they're 1 or 2 or 5 or 7 or 8 or 9, look at how they've changed so quickly. And it may not seem like it's been that quickly, but it really, really is. It goes so fast. And mamas used to tell me that all the time, and I used to think, yeah, this is so long, it's taking forever. I can't wait till summer break or whatever. And that's natural. Don't feel bad or guilty, but just know that it's a hard job, and it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day of the month, every month of the year. You are now a parent forever. And even when they go to college, even when they get married, you're still a mama to these babies. And then you gain more children by being a part of your children's friends. When your children get married, when you have grandchildren, you get to be a part of them, a part of their lives. So that's just a really sweet gift. And when you're feeling boo-hooey, tired, exhausted, and you just want to run away, remind yourself that this is temporary. And so I thought I was going to come on here and talk a little bit about grief, because I'm a life coach that specializes and helps single moms, and I specialize in grief care and grief guiding. I help guide people through the steps of grief. And so I may talk, my thought right now is to share grief and the journey of grief maybe 50% of the time. So if it looks confusing, like, what is Donna doing? That is my what God has gifted me, on top of being an artist. So there are going to be times when I come on here and I share some artwork. And there's going to be times maybe where I share a devotion. And maybe I'll do some journaling. Or maybe I'll pull out my Bible and do my illustrative Bible with you on a topic or something. But I want to say maybe 30 to 50% of the time, I will be coming on and sharing grief. And if you are new to grief, or you don't know how to handle grief, I have availability one-on-one as a life coach and a grief guide that you can share. You can come on. You can go. You can come on and make an appointment with me. I do this for a living, so I would, as a life coach, I do have sessions available. They can be single sessions. We can set up a month, 6 months, and things like that. So that is available. I'm just making a note right now to put a Facebook link here. Just sorry. And I'm not editing right now, so I don't have that ability at the moment. So we're going to see. This is all a test right now to see how much I can, if I can upload to YouTube. Okay, so anyhow, so this is just kind of an intro or a re-intro to this this YouTube station. What I'm going to be doing, it is titled right now Water at the Well Life Coaching. And so I am a grief coach, a grief guide, if you will, for people who are or have been journaling or journeying grief for some time. And it doesn't matter if it's just happened or if it's been 6 months, a year, 2 years, or even 5 years or more, and you're feeling that that struggle is real. Maybe you've gone to counseling. Maybe you don't need a counselor, but you just need to understand, what is this grief do to my psyche, to my brain, to my body? Because grief affects your whole being. And this I know from experience. And, you know, you can have the best counselor out there, but until they experience grief themselves, they're limited to how they can help you. They can go to school for 25 years, but until they really understand what grief does to you, what we've not been shared as a culture about grief, they cannot help you. They can only help you to a certain degree. So although I'm not a counselor per se, I don't have the licensing and things like that, but I have the experience. And I have been a grief share guide, facilitator for almost 10 years. And for 10 years, about 11 years with a little bit of a break in there. So I have gone through 3 groups a year, between 2 and 10 people in every group, and just helping people, you know, guide them through the grief process, because it's confusing and you get the brain fog. So I'm trying to come on here to share with you again. There's three or four points to my video here, is to tell you what I'm doing here. What is this station about? And I don't want to do 2 or 3 stations. I just want to do one station, and it's going to have a conglomerate of things that we're going to do, because that's just who I am. I'm an artist. I'm a photographer. I'm a mom. I'm a grandma. I'm a pet lover. I'm a traveler. I am an avid reader. I'm a Christian. I'm a Bible-believing mama that will pray for you, pray for this ministry, and pray for this station, and hope that I can reach people. And, you know, whether you follow me, you just watch me here or there, that's awesome. I just hope that I can reach enough people to be an encouragement and to give you forever hope. And that is part of the reason why I wrote a little bit about my story, my life, through experience, through how I should be absolutely whacked out, crazy out, unnormal, which maybe I am all those things too, but with the experiences that I've had, and I will talk about those and discuss different things over time. But I just want you to know that part of who I am is I'm going to share my photography. I'm going to share my links to my Etsy store, to my photos, to maybe doing my artwork, doing the journaling, and doing, maybe a Bible teaching, pulling out my illustrated Bible and doing that. And my favorite thing to do besides reading and praying and praising is journaling. So I may do quite a bit of that, and it'll be by topic. So you might see a little bit of this and that when you come on and check it out. So I just want you to understand that I'm, in my artist gifting, I'm not going to be here just to do a painting. I'm not necessarily here to teach you the how-tos, but I will share with you my process and what I have experienced, what I have done, the mistakes I've made, whether it's in life, whether it's in my artwork, whether it's in, and I'm ever growing. And maybe in time down the road, I might curtail it down to one or two things. But right now, I know for sure I'm going to do my life coaching through this channel, sharing the process, again, of grief, how to get through it. I might talk a little bit like I did just now about being a single mom or being a mom, and encourage mamas that you can do it. You're going to get through this. Maybe share a devotion, maybe share, a book that I'm currently reading and what it's about, and give recommendations on that. And I will try to do my best to share the links below. Sometimes I forget. So if I do forget to share a link, please just go ahead and comment and say, hey, where's the link to the thing you were talking about, blah, blah, blah. And so for right now, this is 26 minutes long already. So this is the intro, the re-intro, post-COVID, to see if YouTube is going to be YouTube friendly to my station and see if I can upload. And this is going to be the big test to see if I will follow through and keep doing this, because I got real discouraged there back in end of 2019 into COVID. I just stopped uploading because it just would quit on me. And I don't know if it was my phone. It was definitely technology, because I have had no problem ever before uploading videos to YouTube. So we'll see how things go. So anyhow, I will add the Facebook link to my Forever Hope book. Go ahead and grab it, put it in an Easter basket. If you know somebody that has gone through maybe divorced parents and the struggles with that, I touch base on that, about being a mom, about the death of my husband, the death of my two babies, and how I got through it. And again, it's a super easy read. I made it light, but it's definitely deep and it's definitely raw. And I ask in return, if you do purchase the book on Amazon, if you would do a review. It really helps the algorithm, as well as liking this video and sharing the video with people that if they're going through grief, I would love to be able to share with them and guide them and help them. So I will also put the link to my Facebook page for my coaching as well. So blessings to you. Any questions, comments, please direct them below. And I look forward to doing this again. And I'm going to have a confident assurance that this is going to work, and I'm going to be able to share at least once a week, if not twice, and give you some encouragement and some hope.